Just a minute. Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir. Jackson, sir, please start.
So, good morning once again, one and all. Now we are into the second sessions on blockchain communication. I find like before I would like to start introducing, I want to start with a quote. Winners don't do different things, they do the things differently. So this quote will be rightly suited for the person who I'm going to speak because there are a lot of things are there to there, but I've cut short something in it. So I find immense pleasure and great honor in introducing Mr. Chandan Osha, the distinguished speaker of this session. So he is a person who have telecom portfolio management professional with 20 plus years of experience in government, defense, and private sectors. At present, he is working in Lloyd's Ventures as an advisor. He had a lot of milestones. So he have 10 plus years as a lead or head of PMO and 14 years plus in PMO environment. He was a project leader and project managers. Like he have accomplished many positions, and he bundled with quite numbers of certification. Like he's a certified professional like AWS business professional, uh, 5G technology strategy, and next generation mobile networking, and digital technology case studies. Like the list will go. And he got many honors and awards. In that, two things I want to tell. So Paul Harris Fellow Senior member, he was a member IEEE. Then James V. CWS Tata Innova's Challenge Partner in Progress. And Chindan Osha sir has completed his business excellence in University of California, Oxford Blockchain Strategy programs. He have completed from Side Business School, University of Oxford, and MDP Organizational Excellence through a leaderships from Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta. For this session, is going to deliver an interesting sessions on blockchain communication. So I'll just brief what it is. So there are four ways of blockchain may be described in communication industry. One is secure message, security play a vital role, and then enterprise level communication, secure VoIP, and content delivery networks. So we are really honored to have Mr. Chindan Osha, sir, as a keynote speaker of AICT sponsor short-term training program. Now handling over to Mr. Chandan Osha, sir. The screen is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, sir. And this is indeed I'm honored for this introduction. Uh, so I welcome you all for this session, and we get started. I'm sure that all of us are blockchain enthusiasts, and we would like to know more about how blockchain is benefiting telecom operators and what kind of use case scenarios are there in uh, various telecom operators. How blockchain is, uh, I mean, I would say, changing the future of telco services, the technology convergence, the user experience, and new business models. So let us begin our journey. I'll just take a moment to start my screen share. Give me a moment, sir. So, uh, am I audible? Is my screen visible to everyone, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Uh, so, first of all, I would like to thank the organizing team, uh, Dr. Jubilant, entire team at StTTP for organizing this FTP on blockchain. So thank you so much, and I am pleased to be part part of this community and share my knowledge. So let's get going. So here we are. So today I'm going to deliver a talk on blockchain in telecom. We will be covering various use case scenarios and how blockchain can help enhance the user experience, enhance the business model, and help create convergence of new technologies. So let's get going. So this is a brief introduction of myself. On the bottom layer, you can see HBS, HM SOM, I am Kolkata, I am Ahmedabad. These are the education institutes. My foundation education happened in these institutes. The third layer from top denotes various types of certifications I have obtained. The second layer from top are various organizations where I have been volunteering, be it PMI, IEEE, Bombay Management Association, Rotary, and all. And on topmost layer are my employers. At present, I'm working as advisor in to the board of directors at Lloyd's Venture. I'm also active blood donor. I have donated blood for 33 times, and I would like to encourage you to donate blood as and when situation arises, or you can decide maybe once a year, like a couple of people donate blood on their birthdays in the month of their birthday, and likewise. There are many people who are in need of blood, so I would request you to kindly donate blood at least twice a year. Thanks for your time and attention. Let's get going further. So together we have overcome the pandemic. It's almost we are like past the peak, and now we are getting into a stabilization phase. That life is getting normal, and we are also resuming our life as it was in way back in December. So now, what do you think? Was this pandemic a boon or bane? What are your views? How do you see this pandemic? So, can you just type in, and I would request the host to kindly share the sentiment and feedback of the people. If you guys can type in, what do you consider? Was this pandemic a boon or bane? I would request Neeraj Scholar to kindly stop annotating the screen, please. So, what is the audience feedback on chat? Is it a boon or bane? Hello, Dr. Jubilant, are you there? Hello.
Hello, sir.
Haji. So what is the audience feedback? What are they typing? What do they consider? Do they consider pandemic as boon or bane?
Sir, Pradeep Kumar Shetty is saying it's boom.
It's a boon. Okay. So what is the feeling? If you guys can just type in your views.
Sir, most of the answer came as boon. One Harikesh Singh says that boon for someone and bane for all, bane also.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Fine. So let's move on. Definitely, it has served as a boon because it has given a reset to the thought process. It has accelerated adoption of technology, accelerated digital transformation, and the entire disruption is coming to us in a more faster way. So if we thought that certain use cases or certain technologies would come to us in mainstream by 2025, then we have to forecast this once again, and we can say that by 2020, uh, to next 1,000 days max. So by 2023, this technology would be in our day-to-day life. So indeed, this pandemic has served as a boon, and the acceleration and adoption of technology has grown by multifold. We live in a world where 60% of the children entering school today will work in jobs they do not exist today. So these are the interesting stats. I've also captured the source, so you can feel free to note down. 47% of American jobs would get automated in next 20 years. So these jobs would vanish. Automation would eat away these jobs. 100 million knowledge workers could be affected by robotic process automation. This is KPMG, and these are the pre-pandemic stats. Okay, uh, 5 to 10% of labor world would be displaced by intelligent automation, and new job creation will offset these losses. So what we mean by this is there are new type of jobs, new type of technology enablement is coming on our way. This would trigger en masse adoption and creation of new jobs. So this is going to be the agenda of my talk today. Uh, Give me a moment. Let me clean up the annotation because it's bothering me. Anyway, I'm not sure how to do it. Okay. So I'm going to talk about growth of blockchain. Then we will see why and how blockchain is playing a pivotal role in telecom industry. What are the types of use cases? What are the benefits of blockchain in telecom, and what are the barriers in adoption? So these are the 5 topics I'm going to cover today. Let's get going. So a report by World Economic Forum says by 2027, 10% of world GDP would be stored in blockchain. So blockchain is going to be a major driver for our economic growth henceforth. And we are just getting started. We are like in 2020 H2, and the convergence of blockchain, quantum computing, AI, IoT, robotics. You have been hearing all this, and then blockchain serves as a basic enablement technology which would drive and fuel higher adoption of these technologies in time to come. We are just getting started, and you can see that Asia Pacific is also taking lead in adoption of blockchain. uh, there is one more report which says that not by value but by number of deployments, Asia is number two after American market. So we are living in a geography wherein a lot of new enterprises, new companies, new telcos would be adopting blockchain. Let's keep it simple. You need only couple of stats just to enable you visualize the kind of growth is coming your way. Is by 2024 global market of blockchain would be more than 25 billion. It is growing at a CAGR of 72% year on year. APEC market is going to record highest growth in terms of adoption by number of companies and telcos. So more than 87% of growth is expected in telco market. What are the popular use cases? Infrastructure providers, blockchain as infrastructure service, various applications of blockchain. Main fintech is driving the adoption, payment and wallet services, and the next use case on the rise is digital identity services. Why blockchain in telecom is important, and why operators are thinking about deploying blockchain at a scale? Because blockchain helps you enable the middleman. It also helps you eliminate double spending. There you can reduce the commissions typically charged by third party players. This helps us reduce the cost. It also has a unique security feature. Blockchain is transparent and it allows a traceable history. It also enables us to track things in real time. And because of the distributed nature of the architecture, there is no single point of failure. So this makes blockchain as a strong candidate for telecom environment. How telecom operators would get benefited? So first benefit would be blockchain allows them to future-proof their network infrastructure and processes. When I say this, there are use cases wherein distributed cloud compute, edge compute, and new processes can be introduced in the telecom environment. It helps drive down the cost. The cost can be driven down at scale. So when I say this, it doesn't help you optimize the cost when you have a smaller deployment, but when you achieve a scale, definitely the cost would get optimized. It helps you enhance the coverage. Think of a scenario wherein you have an IoT enabled product and you are able to sell across the nation, and there are no operator bindings wherein any operator any can serve any operator. Your customer can be in any geography, whether the operator has got the coverage there or the geography is being served by any other operator, but your product gets provisioned by with the help of interconnect between operators. So this is the new use case. Offer new services. There are a couple of new services which I will be covering in my talk ahead. New business model. Telco and blockchain can offer and support a new business model like digital rights management. We would have a look at it. Transform customer experience. You can transform the customer experience. Think of a hypothetical scenario wherein a subscriber can subscribe to voice services from one operator, video services from another operator, and internet from a third operator, though he pays entire bill to a single operator. So this is going to be the future experience. While you use voice and text services from a single operator, operator A, you can subscribe to internet from any other ISP and use it on your phone, and still you continue to pay the bill to your current subscriber, that is telecom operator A only. Monetize convergence of technology. Blockchain also triggers the convergence of various technologies. So that is where a telco can roll out a network at scale and facilitate convergence of multiple technologies. Like blockchain and 5G can offer new use cases. Blockchain and AI can offer new use cases. Blockchain and drone can offer new use cases. When you converge more technologies, new use cases can be deployed like blockchain, 5G, and drone. You get a new flavor of new use cases supporting a new business model. Think of a drone port. So a drone port is something where drones land for an interim period, they get their battery replaced and then they fly to their destination. Vice versa, drone port can also help what you call hopping service of a drone, where a drone from point A goes to the drone port or drops the consignment gets shifted to another drone and then it is taken to another geography or another hop. So that is how these new use cases can be facilitated. And telecom operator is this, they provide the uniform skin across the of communication across the geography. So that is where rollout of these technologies in a telco environment matters the most. There are two types of use cases. One is use cases which would optimize the processes. It would enhance the efficiency of the process, or it would help us generate more revenue. So going forward, all the use cases which I would be talking has either of the flavor. Many of the use cases also enhance enhance the process optimization as well as help you generate new revenues or support new business model altogether. So let us start our roller coaster ride, and here is my first use case for you. Next generation prepaid mobile. With deployment of blockchain, the operator can offer next generation of prepaid mobile where the customer can be acquired on a self-service platform. You may not need to have physical SIM in future. You just get an eSIM profile downloaded on your phone and you are good to go. Dynamic agreements and provisioning on the go. It is totally a self-service website where you need not walk into a physical store anymore. You can service your requirements by connecting to the operator app or in his website, or even using WhatsApp, or even using their virtual reality service, interact with the customer service provide agent, and then you can do these things on the go. You can also jumpstart a new service at a scale. So when I say this, one enterprise can become a virtual network enabler or virtual network operator using the base layer of the telco, and then you can have a branded prepaid service mobile launched for yourself. Another use case could be, let us say, students of St. Kitts University can be put on a single plan just by a click. So as in when your student ID gets created, you automatically get a new eSIM profile created, which would get on your phone using SMS, and you just click on the SMS and you get the new student prepaid plan provision on your mobile. So this is how the entire activity can be automated and new user experience can be created. Here is my next use case. Roll out Internet of Things network at scale. So, Internet of IoT would provide various use cases like smart home, music, entertainment, smart devices, speakers, different business case scenarios in supply chain, in enterprise, in office automation, in different type of finance or stock trading scenarios, healthcare, and other industries. So these IoT sensors, which would get deployed in different industry scenarios, and then they would be charged for pay-per-use features. So let us assume uh, a sensor has been installed in your office just to record the attendance of employees. So based on your geolocation, your attendance would get mapped to the sensor and it would get into your payroll system. So as and when the employee walks in and the attendance gets registered, the company would get charged. So these are the kind of features or unique things which were not available until now, which would come to the light in future. Uh, Using this blockchain and IoT flavor, operator can also offer downloadable eSIM on the IoT device, as well as also offer over-the-air provisioning to activate these devices. When I say this, there imagine a scenario that your smartwatch, which is with enabled to connect with the telecom network, doesn't need a SIM, but then it has a eSIM which gets provisioned using the internet and it gets connected. So these are the kind of IoT networks, these are the kind of sensors which would get deployed in various supply chain fleet, and you may not need a physical SIM to be inserted in any devices while the device gets connected to the telecom network. Next gen roaming services. A telecom operator can offer seamless roaming services. There, yes, in ideal scenario, you must have telecom network service available all across, but due to capex constraint, due to project constraint, due to any other legal challenges, due to any other strategy constraints, the operator is not able to provide you seamless coverage when you move from city to taluka or to village on the highway. When you go to a picnic spot nearby, there you may not have uniform network service, and at that in these scenarios, you may continue to switch on different operators, and while you are roaming, while you are traveling, you may get latched on to any other operator where the signals are better. Now let us step back and understand a scenario where multiple operators can have a third party aggregator in current scenario. Now with help of blockchain, there you don't need a third party aggregator, so the cost of roaming can be saved, and then you save and then offer roaming to the subscriber at a more affordable and cheaper rates. This service also helps you automate the reconciliation using smart contracts, and new connects, new operators can be onboarded very quickly. So as a result, the operator can offer a seamless network across the geography as well as across the globe. So the next generation roaming service or next generation telco service, you may not get a roaming feature, but you will just be able to utilize all your services wherever you go. Globetrotters, frequent flyers, global citizens. So these guys would have eSIM for roaming customers. It would also help you extend your original tariff plan wherever you go. So if you have subscribed to 1.5 GB data per day in India, and if you are traveling to, let us say, Sri Lanka, then your user experience would remain the same. If you are traveling to Gulf, your user experience would remain the same because you have done a contract with the operator to provide same and similar experience while you are on the roaming. So this would also help the operator to enhance the ARPU and help extend the smart home, smart city services to roaming subscribers. When I say this, let us say if you are living in a smart city and you have a connected home, you have a smart home, but as soon as you come out of your smart home, it becomes very difficult to extend those smart services to you. But with eSIM services, you, the operator can seamlessly extend the entire experience wherever the user goes. At the center of any organization is human resource. So blockchain can be used in telco environment to give a next generation transformed human resources experience by deploying blockchain for talent acquisition, compensation management, retirement management, L&D services, employee relations, HR information systems, workforce enablement, and for driving multiple HR strategic initiatives. So blockchain can be deployed within the telco environment to serve the employees of the telecom operator. Next is blockchain can be enabler to drive higher ARPU. So when I say this, new revenue growth can be achieved by converging new technologies. As I just mentioned, blockchain and AI can create a new use case. New service activation or deactivation can be achieved on the go. So new use cases, new market verticals, new customer segments can be addressed, like human to human communication, human to device communication, device to sensor communication, device to cloud communication, and device to any other I would say compute can be offered. All these can be offered by flexi tariff and dynamic recharge. When I say dynamic recharge, operator can facilitate seamless experience by offering dynamic recharge. So you need not get a reminder for charging and then the service doesn't get interrupted because of lack of balance in your wallet. So negative balance and then quick recharge, you can set your rules that as and when my balance is 10 rupees, please make a recharge of 100 rupees on the go, and that is how the entire transaction between operators, between technologies, between services can be automated. The next one is borderless network coverage. Blockchain enables the operator to make their network go global. When I say this, the operator can elevate their business strategy beyond the licensing area with third-party roaming services, introducing various other services like data connect to roaming subscribers, voice connect to roaming subscribers, as well as these services are provisioned and deprovisioned on the go in near real time. So operator also gets a capability to charge these subscribers on the go. When I say this, you can, if you are traveling abroad for 8 days, you would get charged for 8 days. You need not get charged for 1 month. Also, these facilities would get benefited for roaming subscribers, and the entire tariff can be extended beyond the licensing area or beyond the geography. Because the operator is getting benefit of elimination of third party settlement charges, the operator can easily extend the same tariff or same or similar tariff to the subscriber beyond the licensing area. This borderless network concept also helps you deploy global supply chain in these global supply chain management scenarios, where you can introduce fleet tracking, you can enable uh, car tracking features, car security features, you can also enable borderless payment, disbursement and acceptance. So anyone can pay to any vendor, any supplier in any currency, and the entire transaction gets settled by the borderless network supported by a telco. Loyalty programs. Loyalty programs can be offered by a telco, and then think of a scenario where you can convert your credit card points and buy movie on demand from the operator. So this is one of the interesting use case scenario. You have been traveling and then you have accumulated certain points using Uber. Now these loyalty points can be used to purchase a coffee at Starbucks, and the entire transaction is enabled by a telco. The core security function of the telco is the IMEI number and the database. IMEI number stands for International Mobile Equipment Identity, and this number is a 15-digit unique number assigned to each mobile device on the planet. The entire device tracking and the management of these IMEI numbers can be automated using blockchain. So blockchain security feature as well as the smart contract feature would be helpful in this use case. And as and when you get your device out of your visibility, your device is lost, your device is broken, you can just inform the operator and the device gets blocked. And this use case scenario is available partially in current environment as well, but the security as well as the immutability feature aren't around. By deploying smart contract, it also helps the operator get a better control on the entire database. Asset management. The telecom network itself is I mean, I would say the building blocks of entire telecom network has got around 1 million plus boxes, and these boxes are supplied by various vendors. They are into various EMCs. They are deployed on various dates. They are imported from various countries. They, whether they are in service or they are in maintenance, whether they are available in warehouse, whether they have been repaired and they are being sent on site, there are various scenarios, and this entire scenario of asset management and tracking can be automated, and you can have a better near real time analytics and scenario on the entire asset management. The tracking feature also helps the operator to have near real-time insurance enabled, because in current scenario, the equipment, whether it is in service or out of service, the insurance is extended. I mean, irrespective of the equipment is in service or out of service. In the new scenario, the insurance premium for that specific equipment would be paid until the equipment is in service. As in, when the equipment gets out of service, the different type of insurance is applicable. When the equipment is in transit, the different type of insurance premium would get applicable. And thus, the operator also can optimize the cost, have better visibility on the inventory, and track these boxes in a more efficient manner. DND registry. Right now, all of us are using DND features, but still we are getting unwanted calls, unwanted marketing calls. I just got one while I am delivering this session. So that is where these next generation blockchain database distributed ledger features comes in place, and then multiple operators, multiple agencies can refer to the same version of the database, and that is how unwanted marketing calls can be blocked. At present, this service is being offered, but still there are loopholes, because different types of database and different types of versions are being referred by various agencies, various stakeholders, and that is where there are loopholes, and the end result is customers are still suffering. By deployment of blockchain for DND, there would be a single database which would be referred by all the stakeholders, and that is where the customer, the user would get benefited the most. We just covered one use case wherein a borderless network can be offered, and the same use case in a different environment is uh, no operator can have a seamless coverage. There would be certain dark spots, and in these dark spots, the operator can actually hand over. We can have a hard handoff between two operators. The user will be on roaming, but the intelligence would be given to the source operator, and then that is how the operator can plan their expansion, prevent the outgo of roaming revenue, and improve the customer experience without having any intermediaries. Dynamic spectrum management. At present, the spectrum is being owned by all the operators. The wireless spectrum acquisition loads the entire business case, and at times, almost 60% of business case cost is attributed towards this acquisition of spectrum. Spectrum is a scarce natural resource. The dynamic spectrum management has got a potential to efficiently monetize the unused spectrum between operators. So, as and when such arrangement happens, all the parties transparently use and share the spectrum, and the due revenue or licensing cost also gets calculated and given to the government also. So that is where a better utilization of scarce natural resource can be facilitated by deploying blockchain in for dynamic spectrum management. This use case can have smart tokens and smart contracts for the needful deployment. Mobile number portability. We just so do not disturb registry. Mobile number portability. At present, we are making use of this feature, but we are not able to port the service. When I say this, you cannot port the service that, okay, fine, I will use internet from this provider, I'll use voice service from a different provider. You cannot have location portability. So right now we are having location portability in India, fortunately, but operator portability is also not possible in all scenarios. For example, you cannot port your DTH connection, or Tata Sky DTH connection cannot be ported to Airtel and vice versa. A service portability function by a telco can facilitate such transactions. By use of smart contracts, operators and regulators can facilitate such portability, features, and services. So this only not only on the user side, it gives ease, better control, and choice of services, but also provides a new business model and a revenue stream to the operator. Contract management and payment processing. Because the telecom operator is mix of multiple vendors, multiple service agreements, the telecom environment itself is a huge challenging environment where a lot of contract management and payment processing needs to be done. So for internal use also, the telecom operator can deploy blockchain to manage multiple licenses, vendors, various market agreements. Like operators are hiring infrastructure for deployment of BTSs for their stores. So there are various dealer channel partners. There are various licensing agreement and the revenue share agreement uh, uh, with the regulator. Like the license sharing for the revenue share for Delhi would be different, and the revenue share for Kerala would be different because the type of market are different. And then comes last but not the least the various contracts with the telecom equipment manufacturers. So this is how blockchain can be deployed to have a better, efficient contract management and payment processing also. As and when certain, I mean, you can deploy smart as you go, and then it would be purely a self-service environment. No one would be trying to sell you anything, but you would be consuming the services on the go as you wish. All the services which you are consuming can be automated, and then based on your preference, whether a state wise, whether a single bill or automatic uh, bill payment can be uh, given to you at the ease of couple of clicks only. So this entire zero touch sales experience can be deployed using blockchain. Cybersecurity, because of immutability and other transparent features of blockchain, a telco can offer cybersecurity to its subscribers and enterprises. These cybersecurity features can be deployed for validating the software upgrades, allowing certain traffics, blocking certain traffics, managing certain nodes in the entire cybersecurity ecosystem, or to offer secure DNS services on the cloud itself, to offer decentralized data storage services, to offer security on the edge devices which are being deployed in the enterprise environment as well as in the smart city environment. It also helps you offer a network hardware provenance and PKI infrastructure support for smart logins. So this is where telco can offer extend cybersecurity services seamlessly to their retail and enterprise subscribers. Next is micropayment. Telco itself can become a bank, and this is what is happening. Every telco has rolled out their smart wallet. They are supporting UPI. They are supporting digital wallets. They have their own started. They have started their own stores where they are selling their services as well as they are supporting promotion of other services. Like just think of Reliance Jio and next Netflix subscription as a bundled service, Amazon and Vodafone subscription as a bundled service, and that is where telcos can enable micropayments, they can enable digital wallets, they can offer IoT services recharge. Like you have a fleet tracker and then you want to track your car, and then the payment for that specific sensor can be integrated to your digital wallet and you can make a payment. Content management. Right now, many operators are offering video on demand. Apart from the OTT players, you can go to Geo Cinema or Vodafone Play or now We Play and watch a movie of your choice in your original content. You can watch various TV serials. You can also have personal cloud, and then based on your requirement you can purchase 1 GB, 2 GB, 5 GB, or terabits of space based on the requirement or preference of yours. You can purchase security subscriptions, like operators are offering antivirus services for your devices to protect your devices. You can also have e-commerce and then integrate a seamless banking feature to enable transfer out of the ecosystem as well. So a person having a Airtel wallet can transfer to some Paytm user as well. So these are the kind of next generation micro payment services can be enabled by a telco, and blockchain would be the enabler, the foundation enabler. The next service is digital ID as a service. The new digital ID would be, I mean, unlike Aadhaar card, all of us are soon going to have our own digital identity. This identity would be used in multiple use cases, like one of the most wanted use cases would be vaccination. So this digital ID in health environment would be called health ID. But this unique ID and the specific purpose ID would have a combination of both the things. And then as and when both the keys are given, certain use case gets executed. Think of a scenario where we have 135 billion people and you want to track that how many people are being vaccinated, and where whether the people who are getting vaccinated are in the area which is getting more more severity as far as the pandemic, or people who are getting vaccines where the pandemic is in control. So such kind of use case scenario and the management of supply chain on dynamic basis can be done using digital identities. It can also facilitate validation, verification of driving license, passport, voter ID. So not only, so when we vote, it is not only the government, but also various associations, various colleges, various other, community memberships where we are a member of, we need to vote, and those voting processes or election can be automated using digital IDs. Multiple citizen services can be extended and availed using the digital ID. Various business ownership, property ownership. Right now, all the business owners are having their own digital signature. These signature can also be used for taxation purpose. We are right now having digital IDs for our vehicles to facilitate, automate the toll collection. And last but not the least, as I rightly said, the health ID. So these kind of new digital ID as a service would be launched by operator. A unique ID would get integrated with multiple service provider. So telecom provider as a enabler of all the services can take a lead and then be a master provider for this use case. Digital rights management. Right now, so piracy is a big challenge. Multiple artists are creating fabulous content, but they are not getting the right royalty, and that is where the innovation gets killed. People have also started this movement, and that is where awareness is getting built in the artist community, in the film fraternity, and operator can launch digital rights management platform to support calculation of right royalty, and then disperse the right revenue with the artist. This also helps fight the piracy. It also helps secure the IPR. So as and when you play a song, there would be a certain micro charge which would be either given to the operator or straight away given to the artist, the person who has made the music. And this is where on the subscriber side, the operator also can offer pay per use or charge per view. So if you, in current scenario, we are not able to visit cinema halls, but there can be a scenario wherein a new movie gets released on a OTT platform of the operator, and then you are paying 150 rupees per view, and your entire family watches the movie from the comfort of your home itself. So these are the new use case scenarios which would be offered by a telco in future. Uh, Content delivery network. So these are the popularly known as CDNs, the decentralized form of CDN. would offer faster downloads across the globe. So whether the site is from India or from other country, the user can be in any part of the world, and he would have the best experience. The downloads of that website would be as faster as possible, and it would enhance the reliability, the experience of the user. It will also give 100% availability of the service across the world. So this distributed CDN will also not only provide the highest level of DDoS protection, but also provide the best of experience and uh, increase the revenue. Blockchain can also be used to provide SD-WAN services. Right now, all the enterprises are deploying SD-WAN, but the next generation SD-WAN, which would be enabled by blockchain, and this blockchain enabled SD-WAN would be having faster processing times, higher security, have best of capability to analyze the packet level data, and then provide the dashboarding. So right now, the operator or the customer does not have capability, like if you would like to, there is a month end, and if you would like to allocate more bandwidth for your CRM than for your WhatsApp traffic, then you can do it. And this is where new features of blockchain enabled SD-WAN would give this kind of capability to the enterprise, and the telco would definitely be an enabler. Blockchain as a service, because telco would be deploying blockchain and across the network, telco can also offer blockchain as a service to different enterprises. So in a given scenario, think of a company or think of a fintech provider who would not be required to deploy their own blockchain, but they can tie up with the telco and make use of their blockchain as a service feature to get benefit of token, smart contract, various security feature, achieve business transformation, offer smart city solutions, offer digital banking, digital marketing, various loyalty programs, integrate various IoT services, and that is how to get benefited of blockchain technology. One may not be required to roll out or own any blockchain infrastructure. So telco can easily roll out blockchain as a service and extend the benefits of blockchain to its customers. Telcos can also offer edge compute service. These edge compute services would get offered using blockchain. It would get the edge compute services would get deployed in smart factories, experience arenas, robotic surgeries. It would be deployed in renewable energy parks. I mean, those windmills which are in middle of nowhere, those solar farms which are in middle of nowhere, and the entire management and automation of these energy parks can be done remotely. These edge compute services can also be deployed in various drone fleets, autonomous fleets, and supply chains. So this is something, a new service, the entire edge compute technology uh, would get enabled by a telco. Various Internet of Things devices would get connected to the edge, and the edge mesh would ultimately get connected to the cloud. And telco would be the enablement, sole enablement catalyst into this technology adoption. Distributed storage devices. Right now, everyone is having a centralized data center. So all the data gets stored in a single data center architecture, or the same data center architecture is getting replicated in multiple geographies. But the number of nodes right now is limited. When I say this, there are limited number of Amazon instances running across the world. There are limited number of Azure instances running across the node. We recently saw en mass outage on O365. I wasn't able to access my files, my data on OneDrive, and that is why I had to create this presentation afresh. So I'm one of the victims of the recent outage of OneDrive. I mean O365. This is where operators and enterprises can go for a distributed storage architecture on data center. This gives the immutability, security, zero latency, and 100% uptime availability to the services to the customer, and it improves the experience. So this is where telco can offer distributed storage services. EdTech ecosystem is something related. In other words, it would be digital marketing. What we are doing, the digital marketing also gets extended to various kiosks, various screens, various holdings which are spread across the city. So these digital marketing services needs to be integrated. Think of a digital hoarding which are having a daylight screen. You would have seen on major junctions, these daylight screens are showing various ads while you are standing on the traffic signal. You are able to see the ad of some, shirt or some Amazon campaign which is running. Now these ad companies get connected to the blockchain, and then they get better connect over the content which are being displayed on various screens. They can have a reconciliation in digital marketing and edtech has been a menace. No advertiser can give you the right type of ad displays which has been given to their in their network, and then the customer, the advertiser, the end customer doesn't have any visibility. If I am spending a half a million rupees for my advertisement, still I wouldn't have any visibility that or reconciled data that where which all sites, which all pages my data was shown, and then I can tune up my strategy. But with use of blockchain in edtech in a telco environment, these kind of shortfalls can be addressed, and then a new level of edtech experience can be delivered. NFV virtualization, I mean network function virtualization, as a service can be launched. So blockchain in a telco can enable the telco to offer NFV as a service for centralized policy automation. So while you have thousands of devices and IoT sensors deployed across the network or across the world, then the policy of these devices needs to be updated and at a regular interval. And these function, these kind of requirement can be easily facilitated by the telco. The telco can also offer plug and play capability across the network or across the globe even by their roaming agreements. They can also provide various network slicing requirements on demand, and to support these features for the enterprise customers. In smart city environment, various types of smart city services can be rolled out using telco and blockchain. So like smart grid automation, e-health, mass transport management, fleet management, traffic management, smart home integration, ICT network, smart building services, smart waste management services, security. The entire governance of a smart city can be easily taken to the next level using blockchain. As a telco, as a blockchain provider, as a service provider, various telco can establish alliances and then take the adoption of blockchain at a scale. Recently, a consortium has been formed as Communication Blockchain Network. It is also known as CBN. there are multiple telcos, technology companies, vendors who have become part of this alliance, and they are developing a uniform blockchain architecture and network for the next generation telco services. However, there are various barriers in adoption. So I have listed these 9 barriers. I'll take you through. First one is balancing business case and total cost of ownership. Definitely, who is going to absorb the cost of deployment of blockchain? When we deploy blockchain, there would be a delta which would get added to the delta expense which would get added to the business case. Is who is going to absorb this delta cost? Will it be customer? Will it be blockchain provider? Will it be the telco themselves? So this remains an unanswered question. Integration and transition from legacy systems to the new architecture. This would definitely serve as a barrier. Supply of skilled manpower. Thanks to forums like this, who are acting as a catalyst for spreading awareness and educating people on blockchain. So supply of skilled manpower still remains a concern. Energy consumption, the entire blockchain would be a energy guzzler. There would be 10,000s of nodes which would get deployed, and this would enhance the energy consumption while the services gets delivered. The size of the network also matters. I mean, having 100 nodes in a blockchain doesn't give you the benefit what we are talking. Minimum 5,000 to 7,000 nodes would be required in a blockchain network to support the use case, the security, and the scalability of the new business model. Privacy and security, definitely these features are advantageous to blockchain. The transactions are transparent, they are secure, but they themselves again serve as a roadblock because your entire transaction trail is public. So in a given scenario, users, enterprises may not wish to make their transaction trail public, and that is where itself becomes a concern. Cost per transaction, the delta cost for enabling one transaction would be a challenge. So who is going to absorb this cost? The regulatory and governance framework. Right now, multiple operators are deploying blockchain, but these are islands. Who is going to regulate and connect and govern those islands? Be it a consortia of telecom operators, be it a government, be it someone else. These are unanswered questions right now. And last but not the least, ethics. So as and when there are smart contracts, there are cryptocurrencies, there are various tokens. The entire economy or the governance of the entire ecosystem remains a challenge. Ethics to be followed by one person, one operator to different enterprise in different geography. So this is something again a concern, and it also serves as a barrier to higher adoption of blockchain in telecom environment. And here we come to the end of this session. The next generation of telco ecosystem would be orchestrating convergence of multiple technologies. Like blockchain would help aggregation of multiple technologies in a telco environment, like data analytics, like AI, like cybersecurity, like 5G, like drone, like telemedicine, like virtual reality, like experience zones, and these technologies has got to converge, and this convergence will offer an infinite potential, and we are just getting started. We are yet to touch the runway, and there are infinite possibilities when blockchain gets adopted in a telecom environment. So thank you so much. These are my coordinates. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is at Hi Chintan. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn handle is Chintan Oza. Thanks for your time, attention, and here we are. We are at the end of this session. We can go for the Q&A. Thank you so much. I would stop sharing my screen for now so that we can talk face to face, and I can handle the Q&A in a more better way. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a really wonderful session. Like we have able to know certain new things. Probably this is the first time I'm able hearing that the blockchain as a service. It was really very informative. Thank you so much. And I want participants, like if anyone have any queries, you can just go ahead. Participants. So there is a first question.
Yes, sir.
Can we apply data analytics on blockchain data?
Yes, definitely. So data on blockchain gets enabled, and then that is how you will have insights on the data which are being put on blockchain. Let me get the scenario. I mean, the IoT sensors which are put on supply chain, and then the supply chain is enabled by blockchain. The IoT sensor would be capturing the data. So as in when the consignment is passing through certain channels, the entire characteristics of the consignment would get captured. The boxes which are put in that consignment would get captured, and the entire data trail would be put on the blockchain. The blockchain will support multiple analytics of near real-time analytics of this consignment, and which can be consumed by the customer, it can be consumed by the logistic operator, it can be consumed by the regulatory, that okay, what kind of consignment is entering my border or it is likely to hit my border, what kind of taxes I should be charging, what kind of verification can be done quickly, and that is how the entire use case can be facilitated.
Okay. So the second question, what is the difference between edge computing and fog computing? Edge and fog.
So, I mean, there is a thin line between edge and compute. I am a blockchain expert, and I wouldn't like to, spend more time on differentiating edge and fog. So maybe it would a person who is more familiar with fog or edge can definitely answer this. However, I would encourage you to kindly Google and know the difference between these two terminologies.
So the third question, how blockchain can be applied in image processing scenario? Image processing scenario.
Image processing scenario. Okay, so can you narrate one scenario, please?
So that was the only question. The person who asked, can you just elaborate?
Not an issue. So I'll narrate one image processing scenario. So think of.
So I hope they are asking on computer vision and other things. Like there are certain fields that they know,
no
like
problem.
whether.
So I have a use case and I'll narrate that.
Okay.
So blockchain can be integrated for traffic management in a smart city. So as in when someone is violating any traffic rule, the camera would capture the number plate and image of the car, the coordinates of the car, and then the entire violation would get plotted on a blockchain which cannot be altered by anyone, and then the blockchain would get connected to the various governance portals. The compliance officer or the police or the regulatory authority would validate, and then it would get flagged off to the to the citizen, and the citizen can pay a fine. Or think of a smart city scenario wherein you are driving a car, and then you have skip a signal. The edge compute network of the smart city analyzes your number plate. The query is sent to the RTO. The owner is identified. The owner is charged 500 rupees as a violation ticket. And because the owner, the citizen, is registered as a smart citizen, the 500 rupee fine gets collected from his bank account, and all the user the citizen gets a receipt of the 500 rupees challan, and the entire transaction happens in less than 30 seconds. So this helps the governance agencies to encourage discipline into this scenario. So this is one of the use case.
So the next question, the blockchain system cost of telecommunication, can it be reduced?
So at scale it can be reduced. Yes. Think of a blockchain network sitting outside telecom environment, which would have additional cost of participating. The telco cost of it. So that is where the internet cost of it. In other words, you need internet to connect various nodes, right? So it is better that the blockchain network sits within the telco environment itself. Unless you achieve a scale, you will not be able to make adoption of blockchain economical, or the TCO cannot go down unless and until the network gets deployed at scale.
Okay, sir. Sir, the next question is once again, what is the role of encryption in blockchain and how does the security of block work?
So let me read the question.
Yeah, once again.
Role of encryption
What is the role of encryptions in
information.
blockchain?
Yes. So information is processed using hash algorithm, and it gets converted to an encrypted string. It is stored on blockchain. So that is how the encryption plays a role in blockchain. And how does the security of block work? So blockchain is immutable block of ledgers. Once the record is put on blockchain, it cannot be altered. So once the information gets recorded on blockchain, it will not get altered and it remains as is. If you want, you can make a new block or append the information, but the earlier transaction cannot be altered. So this is the fundamental, I would say, principle of blockchain, and that is how this principle is being used to provide a secure transactions.
So the next question, how much scalable in blockchain when it is applied to other application other than crypto?
Other crypto, yes, definitely there are multiple use cases of smart contracts. It is my favorite research area. I have been delivering a couple of lectures on smart contracts these days. So smart contract is something which is going to be a huge use case. Entire economy can be tokenized. When I say this, right now in our stock market, we are purchasing shares, but the entire stock market can have those crypto tokens. Um there are multiple other use cases wherein crypto tokens can be traded and used for establishing various smart contracts. When I say this, smart contracts can also be used in supply chain. Smart contracts can also be used in healthcare. Smart contracts can also be used in education. Smart contracts can also be used in government and multiple industries. So that is where I am definitely very gaga about smart contract and doing research in this domain.
Okay. The next question, India as a country, how far we have succeed in introducing blockchain in telecom industry? Are any step taken forward in this thing?
So let me tell you, almost all governments have conducted a pilot on blockchain. So government are all the state governments are indeed bullish. Our Niti Aayog has also introduced various policies and guidelines for adoption of these technologies. This is on the government side. On telco side, all operators have conducted pilot on whatever I spoke. So not only Indian operators, but other global operators like Rakuten, Verizon, Vodafone have also conducted various pilots on different geographies and different, supporting various technologies and services, use cases, what we just discussed. So these use cases would have been deployed and executed in multiple countries. So not a single operator, single place will have all the use cases.
Okay, thank you. Is it possible to change default encryption and hashing algorithm in blockchain?
I would say it is. I wouldn't recommend changing of such hashing mechanism and algorithm because it definitely would create a new chain.
Okay. How does how to get ensure authentication of IoT devices using blockchain? Do we need to add particular device specification before start transaction?
So IoT device would definitely talking to some server, right? So IoT device would be capturing the alarm. It would have a sensor. That sensor would be converting the message to a particular string, and then using internet, it would get connected to a server, right? So that is where the IoT device would get connected to either internet, or it would get and then to the central server, to the cloud, or it would get connected to edge compute node using the local algorithm and local intelligence processing. The feedback would be given to the IoT device. The next action would get initiated. So this is how the workflow would be there, and it can be a good use case.
Okay, thank you, sir. That was the question. It was really very informative. We have spent the weekend with us. Really, thank you so much. I hope it would have helpful for all the researchers. Many faculties were there. I hope they will be take up this particular thing in their future research. They may help it in all the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. I again thank Dr. Jubilant Saint Kitts team for this opportunity, for sharing my views on blockchain in telecommunication. Thank you so much. I hope I have answered all your questions to your satisfaction. In case if you would wish to learn more about your question or my presentation, feel free to get in touch with me on LinkedIn, and you can message me and I would be happy to answer that. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Participant, there is